Sofia Vergara invited me to her launch party of her new sun care
No big
line.
deal.
Yes, that is like makeup. And I have not tried her stuff, but she's going to send it to me. And she's like, yeah, it gives me this filter like appearance. I'm like, no, no,
No, no,
no.
no.
That's my line. Welcome to the More Than a Pretty Face podcast, where we go more than skin deep to explore the science of beauty so you can look and feel your best at any age. I'm your host, Dr. Azi, a board certified dermatologist, and I'm here with my co host, Nurse Lacie.
I am so excited. Today we are talking about makeup, skincare, and makeup that is skincare. So literally everything you love.
This is something that's gone so viral and so crazy.
Mhm.
This skincare makeup hybrid. I love it. I'm here for it. I have always been more of a skincare person, but
Mhm.
I've also loved doing makeup. So I'm so excited about this beauty makeup packed episode with a focus on skincare and dermatology, of course. So let's get started with a blemish. Do you have one this week?
Ooh, I don't have a blemish, but I have a beauty.
Okay.
And my beauty is we started Remy in Kung Fu.
What? Kung Fu?
Yes.
She's like 3.
She is 3 and she loves it.
Well, ice skating and Kung Fu.
I know. I asked her, I said,
Nice.
"Which one do you like more?" She said, "Kung Fu." So we're kind of like, we'll see. We'll see how she does with Kung Fu and see if
Oh,
it's
that's
something we're gonna
so
stick with or not. But
cute.
yeah, she
She's gonna
loves
kick
it.
my butt, I think.
She is really good with it. How about you? Do you have a beauty or a
Mm,
blemish?
I have a literal blemish. Well, it's not
Literal.
mine, but it's very close proximity. So my daughter Maya
Oh no.
got this terrible staph strep infection on her chin that started out as
No.
a blemish
Yes.
that then turned into a full-blown infection. I had to start her
Yeah.
on antibiotics. I had to like do a deep dive into her makeup
Oh
and
my
skincare
gosh.
routine. So it really
Mhm.
fits in very well with this episode.
Yeah.
Plus, I've seen a handful of teenagers lately coming in with strep infections of the face around the nose area. And they are coming up with these sores, these ulcers
Oh no.
around, the mouth area. And I swear I thought Maya was going to scar,
Yeah.
but luckily, they've got that Wolverine like skin that doesn't scar easily
I
because it's
know.
so
It's
regenerative.
yes.
Kids' skin heals so well. But I think a lot of it is from all these products, not just skincare, but
Yeah.
makeup.
I was just gonna say so many
And,
kids.
she uses these beauty blenders and these
Mhm.
brushes, and
And
she's using these, they make those skincare smoothies now with like
yes.
adding a little bit of this and adding this tint and that tint. And then these liquid blushes that have a lot of oils in them. So it's just a mess. I walk into her bathroom, I'm going, "Oh my god, I didn't even have any of this."
I was
Our
just gonna say
idea
that.
our idea of a liquid blush back in the day was using your lipstick. Did you ever do
Mhm.
that? Use your
Yeah.
lipstick if you didn't have blush, you just with like one product for both.
Yeah.
But we are gonna talk all about makeup, best practices, and now that there are a lot of different types of makeup on the market, what you should look for depending on your skin type and your skin
Yes,
concerns.
yes. You know, a lot of our acne patients are always asking what products they should use or should avoid ingredient wise. So, why don't you tell us what ingredients should acne prone patients avoid when shopping at Target or Sephora?
Well, I would say so we can just go through because some of them can be, even if you're sensitive skin, you can do it. Like
True.
alcohol is a big one.
Yeah.
A lot of the products may have, denatured alcohols in them that really strips the skin of natural
Mhm.
oils and breaks down the skin barrier. So if you have acne or even just some of us with normal skin, if you're using a lot of these products with alcohol in it, it could be drying out your skin, which then in turn could damage your skin barrier. Another one is acrylic. So a lot of makeups have acrylic, which helps it stick together better. And it's like putting plastic on your skin. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people become sensitive to it. And once that skin barrier gets damaged from some of these irritants, then that allows bacteria and, organisms like yeast to
Mhm.
get into your skin, and then you end up with an infection.
Yes.
A lot of the light reflecting products, like I love my NARS light reflecting foundation. It's like my absolute favorite,
Uh-huh.
but they have ingredients like mica, silica, and talc that gives it that light reflecting properties. Well, that can really clog your pores. I mean, I don't have a
Interesting.
problem with clogged pores, but if
Yeah.
you're prone to blackheads, whiteheads, milia, and also I don't wear it all the time. I only wear it like today I have it on, but usually during the week, I just stick with my Hydro Temp BB SPF
Mhm.
44 because it's not oil based, it's actually water based.
Yes.
So it has glycerin and has hyaluronic acid, unlike foundation, but it gives me enough coverage for everyday wear. I guess if you're doing like, if you're shooting photos or movies or, videos or whatnot, then you may want to opt for some of those foundations, but really use them sparingly because they
Mhm.
can lead to clogged pores. Another one is perfumes and dyes.
Yes, that's a given.
Yeah, a lot of people love for their products to smell good,
Mhm.
and that could be a problem because fragrance is one of the most, irritating, most allergenic ingredients, particularly when it's in eyeshadow or concealers when you're putting it around that thin, delicate eyelid skin.
Mhm.
And then steer clear of D and C red dyes. They tend to be the most, allergenic or sensitizing ingredients. And even though you may not have any problems now, down the line, in a few years, you may start reacting to them. So, a couple more petrochemicals, things like paraffin wax, mineral oil, petrolatum. These are preservatives that are designed to lock in moisture,
Mhm.
but again, they can clog pores and lead to milia. And then lastly, a lot of primers and foundations have silicone in them because it just makes the product feel very silky and
Yes.
smooth. The problem with silicone, it really does build up in the skin and it loves to clog pores and build up in pores. So it's kind of hard to get off.
Yeah.
So I would really try to limit the amount of products with those ingredients in them, just because that those are the ingredients that can really wreak havoc on your skin. Now, whether you have acne prone skin or sensitive skin or just in general over time, it can start to affect your skin.
You know what I see all the time, and I feel like when I was younger, and I feel like it's targeted more for younger kids, is the lip gloss that have glitter or sparkles in them.
Mm.
I see that and I just think instant irritation of the lips. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? What do you feel about
Yeah,
glitter
so
and
a
sparkle?
lot of those have a compound called bismuth oxychloride. It gives them this kind of shimmery, kind of glittery appearance to
Mhm.
them. And this can definitely cause a lot of irritation. And over time, again, it's one of those things that you can become sensitized to.
Interesting.
So, probably good to avoid them
Mhm.
or don't use them on a regular basis all the time.
Got it.
And that sometimes you see them in blushes too. And
Mhm.
you see them a lot in eyeshadows
Yeah.
because it kind of makes them look
Me right
really
now.
great. But it might be good to use on for like an occasional night out, but not anything you would want to use too much of,
Regularly.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about makeup products that you recommend for other skin types. Like, how about oily skin?
Yeah, so I would look for ones, particularly with hydrating ingredients like glycerin or hyaluronic acid, as opposed to mineral oil.
Okay.
Nowadays, there's a lot of foundations and makeup with skincare ingredients like salicylic acid is great if you have got oily skin or acne prone skin because it's one of the ingredients we use to treat
Yeah.
acne and it helps with oil regulation. And so that's a great ingredient. And look for non comedogenic formulas. And some of the brands are things like Neutrogena, Clinique, Maybelline, Bare Minerals, Elia. I think I'm saying that right. It Cosmetics. These makeup brands are pretty good and they have a lot of options that are non comedogenic. So great for acne prone skin.
What does non-comedogenic mean?
So non-comedogenic means that it is not gonna be likely to clog pores.
Got it.
So there are different oils such as like coconut oil is very comedogenic, meaning
Very.
it is one that loves to clog pores. Whereas something like Um, Grapeseed oil is gonna have less of that. So there are different oils that, are better for acne than, other types.
What about for dry skin?
So dry skin, things like ceramides now, hyaluronic acid, squalane, those ingredients are now being incorporated into makeup, such as foundations, concealers, as well as some of the primers may have them. So look for those hydrating ingredients
Mhm.
that are wonderful to put on the skin infused in your foundation. Because before I used to tell my patients, mist the skin, apply your
Mhm.
hyaluronic acid serum, and then apply your foundation. Well,
Yes.
now a lot of the foundations, these companies are getting smart. They're
Yeah.
incorporating some of these ingredients that make your skin look dewy and, hydrated and avoid the cakey makeup appearance by putting it in their products. Just be sure if they are hyaluronic acid based, you're applying it to damp skin, just so the hyaluronic acid has a lot of water to, grab onto and hold on to.
Now, I wanna hear what brand you recommend, but let's start with what you're wearing because your skin looks really good, and
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
you told me you love makeup,
I do.
so
Well, I have to say, I always, even if it's night, I'm guilty of this, but I always put a layer of Hydrogen BB on first because I feel
Yeah.
like it gives my skin this coating that it's almost like a filter. I
Mhm.
put it on. So I always put that on first and then I put on my foundation, even if it's like pitch dark outside. Plus, I think, with the visible light, it does protect you against visible light. So
Mhm.
I first mist the skin. Usually I like La Roche-Posay has a thermal spring water. I mist the skin, then I put the Hydrogen BB on. And then I really love the NARS light reflecting foundation. It is my go-to. And it does have some skincare benefits. It is formulated with a peptide blend that does help with skin hydration and nourishment. So it's just sometimes I can't get it to, like, rub in. It's very, very hydrating, so I
Okay.
feel like I really need to finish it off with a powder.
Okay.
So I really love that, and, Lancome has some really great concealers now with niacinamide and hyaluronic acid, but I always use my Eye Glow AM, which has SPF, and it has this copper color that really helps with masking dark circles,
Yeah.
and of course, SPF 50 and a peptide blend. So I always use that as my primer for
Mhm.
my concealer or my highlighters, and then I put on my concealer on after that. But I really love Lancome. They do have a lot of makeups, and also they have this really great primer with hyaluronic acid that allows the foundation to stick on better.
Mhm.
If you're a primer kind of person, I've used it a couple of times, but I always just go back to my Hydrogen BB. So I can't say I've used a ton of that. Um, but those are some of my
Yeah.
favorite brands: NARS, Clinique, and Lancome. But some of the other great ones are Bare Minerals. They
Mhm.
have, a lot of, sensitive skin and, acne-prone skin products. Azi and Skincare, of course. I know we're a skincare company, but we do have products like the, Pout Plump and the Eye Glow AM and the Hydra Tint that are makeup-like. And then Clinique is really great for those with sensitive skin. Rare Beauty, they have a ton of options
So many
for
options.
shades and all these companies now, there's so many options. They have
Yeah.
so many SKUs.
So, did you
Uh,
not care about what's on my face?
oh, I'm sorry. What's on
It's
your
because I
face?
don't wear makeup, huh?
No.
I was sitting here patiently waiting, and you just never
I'm
asked.
sorry. What are
It's
you
okay.
wearing? What are you wearing?
Well, you and I are a lot alike.
Yeah?
I like the La Roche-Posay spray.
Yeah.
I always mist, so I wash my face, I do the spray, and then I do the glow serum,
Yes, that's a good one.
always in the morning, and then my BB cream.
Yeah.
And today, I have the BB cream, the glow serum, and the Eye Glow AM on.
Yeah, you don't have concealer on?
I don't have concealer.
Really?
Yeah. I don't
Wow.
like foundations, sorry, and I only really will use concealer if I feel like I look really dark under my eyes,
See, you're
but
you're light. Light-skinned people don't have dark circle problems like dark-skinned people
I
like
mean,
me.
we do, but it depends,
Yeah.
but even at night, I will still use my BB cream as my
Your
base
your primer,
foundation,
yeah.
and then I love Bare Minerals powder, even though I like it more so in the morning, like if it's a beach day or something, because it has
Mhm.
SPF in it, but I'll still use it at night because I haven't really found a powder that I like other
Have
than
you
that one.
seen, so Color Science has one as well
Mhm.
that has an under eye sort of, but theirs is more of a concealer,
Yes.
whereas iGlow AM, I feel like, is more of a color corrector. A lot of
Mhm.
our patients, say it's similar to like the Bobbi Brown color corrector.
Mhm.
So it's not really designed as a concealer, but nowadays you can probably find concealer with SPF in it. I know Color Science has one.
Yeah.
The other thing is I've seen people, Color Science has this, is it a BB cream that you put on and then it sort of matches your shade? It like changes
They
color.
do. I feel like they just launched that one.
Yeah, that
I
looks
haven't
really
tried
cool
it
too.
though.
I haven't tried it. We have the most amazing podcast community, and we want to thank you for being such a loyal listener. To thank you for being a fan of the show, we want to extend a 15% offer exclusively to podcast listeners. Use code April15, APRIL15 at AussieMD Skincare April 15 for 15% off. This is a special discount code we're only giving to our podcast listeners. Don't forget to tag me in your skincare selfies. I love to see you glow.
Okay, so you have to tell us about your weekend.
Well, Sofia Vergara invited me to her launch party of her new sun care
No big
line.
deal.
Yes, that is like makeup. And so she is so funny, so sweet, so cute, just like you see her on TV and well, not exactly like Griselda,
No, not like Griselda,
but
but she does have that personality where she seems like she would be the same
she is
off
so
camera.
funny. She's hilarious. She's like, "I am starving. Somebody give me pasta." She's there in her like glam outfit, just like, she's like, "I was stuck in traffic for 3 hours trying to get down here." She's like, "Give
Aw.
me a dirty martini." She has a very thick Colombian accent, which
Uh-huh.
is super cute, but she is absolutely gorgeous and
Yeah, she
she's
is.
just such a beautiful human being. And I have not tried her stuff, but she's going to send it to me. And she's like, "Yeah, it gives me this filter like appearance." I'm like, "No, no,
No, no,
no.
no.
That's my line. That's Hydro Tim
Yeah,
BB,
you can't say
which came
that.
out long before your makeup, skincare line." But I'm super excited to try it. And she, you know, obviously seems very passionate about it, and it's called Toty because apparently that was her nickname when
Aw.
she was in Colombia, and she was like, "Girl, all I did when I was young, I would take my son to the beach because it was free, and,
Well, yeah.
we were poor, and that was what we did. We'd go to the beach for fun." So she spent hours and hours in the sun, and so she actually didn't start wearing sunscreen until, a little bit later on, and so she seemed very passionate about this line. But yeah, it was really fun to meet her.
Exciting.
Yeah, so exciting, exciting.
Yes, I can't wait for you to try it, but she can't say filter like
No, that's what I
appearance,
said.
no.
Said you can't use that line.
Okay, so tell me what we touched a little bit on, products that patients, customers should look for,
Mhm.
like salicylic acid, hyaluronic acid, but I feel like we're missing some more.
So let's talk about the best practices for applying your makeup,
Okay.
because I see people using these beauty blenders over and over and over again. I also see beauty blenders filled with disgusting mold and bacteria and
Gross.
all kinds of organisms,
Gross.
biofilms, which are one of the worst types of organisms because they're very difficult to get rid of. So, in terms of beauty blenders, you really should be using them and washing them after each use. And I don't
Mhm.
think people really understand that because they
No.
really tend to trap those organisms. So, what I like to do is use like an oil based cleanser, or you can take a little bit of dish soap with a little bit of oil, and the oil helps lift the makeup and the products off the beauty blender. And I
Yeah.
like to actually stick it in the microwave for like 30 seconds with soapy water, and that does a really good job. A lot of people will collect them and like throw them in the washer in like a
Oh,
little
okay.
bag,
Interesting.
and so that's another way to do it. You can put it in the dishwasher. Some people put them in the dishwasher, but some way where you're really cleaning them, and don't store them like in your cabinet under the sink and let
Dark
them dry.
areas,
Yes, because that just grows
wet. Yeah.
mold. You got to like put them outside where there's air and there's sun so they
Mhm.
dry, and you got to wring them out. don't dry them in your bathroom because, again, that environment is typically, humid and moist, and yeast just love that
Yeah. I just say
climate.
no to beauty blenders.
Or don't use beauty blenders, but
That's
I
my
could see a
thing.
lot of people do find them very useful. And then brushes, you really should be cleansing them once a week, at least once every 2 weeks.
Regardless of how often you use
If you're
them?
using them like every day and, pretty heavily morning and night, so I would probably say once a week.
Okay.
And they have those brush cleansers. I don't know if you've seen them. They're like little dishwashers for your brushes.
Yes, I've
You
seen
like
those.
stick your brushes in there and it goes in like little circles and,
Mhm.
washes them for a certain amount of time. And then you look at the water and you're like,
Gross.
oh, gross.
Yeah.
And you want to dry them with a towel, leave them out to dry, preferably somewhere that is well ventilated
Mhm.
and not like moist because they just end up, they can grow things. But
Yeah.
so there are, already made makeup brush cleansers and even sprays that make them even easier to clean, even wipes you can use.
What if you're like me and I just use Dawn dish soap?
Oh, that's perfect. You
Okay,
don't have
good.
to necessarily, buy these expensive things. Like I said, I
Okay.
I put a little dish soap and some water and stick them in the microwave, but
So
or
what's
use
with the
one of those.
microwave? You said 30 seconds, but, like, what
Yeah, I
is
think it just
that?
helps the heat, I think
Just okay.
further kills the
Like,
organisms.
almost sanitizing,
Yeah, but there
but
are
okay.
there are, just dish soap and rinsing them out, leaving them well ventilated to dry. And don't be, like, too stingy. You can buy them pretty inexpensively, so don't hold on to them for too long because no
Got it.
matter how much you're cleaning them, still they can be, at some point, it might be hard to get rid of some of the
Sure.
biofilms and things in there. So when it's time to go, don't be afraid to say goodbye.
Just cut ties.
Yeah, cut ties with them.
Aw, okay.
Yeah.
That's
If you
not
wanna
me.
be grossed out, you might wanna cut one of your beauty blenders and look inside. You might be surprised at what you find.
What about brushes? I
Same.
mean I mean
Oh.
cutting them, like, would
Oh,
is it
no, no.
still the
So
same with the brush
brushes
bru
so
woah.
brushes are actually better in that they don't tend to harbor like beauty blenders do, but nevertheless, you should be cleaning them. Also, be very careful about the liquid blushes. A lot of people will use them on their face and, use them over and over and over again, and just sticking them back into the actual container because they have oils and things
Mhm.
that yeast love to feed on, you may be contaminating them. And so I would periodically maybe wipe them as well. You can even use like alcohol wipes or sanitary wipes for those because they can be a problem for sure.
So that makes me want to ask, what are your thoughts on like a lip gloss? Those brushes. How long do you use your lip gloss or switch out or throw it
Yeah, a
away?
lot of people say 3 months, and I guess that depends on how often you're using them, but, I would say, yeah, 3 to 6 months. You can wipe them down periodically when you remember, but you don't wanna hold on to your makeup for too long,
Mhm.
although they do have preservatives and things in them to allow them to stay good for a
Mhm.
period of time, so just be cautious of that.
Okay.
Um
What about removing your makeup at night?
Well, a lot of people love those makeup removers, like the towelettes, which are
Mhm.
so convenient, and now
So
every
convenient.
brand has one. They're out so many options out there.
Mhm.
Definitely use one that's fragrance free because at least that's one ingredient you can avoid. But makeup wipes, one, they don't do a great job of cleansing your skin, right?
Right.
Two, they have a lot of ingredients that over time can cause sensitization and cause your skin to react and develop rashes down the line. You may not experience it at the beginning or when you first start using it, but down the line, it could take a toll on your skin. Now, if you've had a late night and that's as good as you're going to get, it's still better than nothing.
Yeah.
But if you do use them, make sure you wash that off after. So you can use the makeup wipes, but then
Wash your
rinse it
face.
off, use a cleanser as your second cleanse, especially if you're wearing heavy, heavy makeup. It's probably not gonna do a great job of removing it. But if you're going, if you're traveling or you're on the go, that might be a good one to do. Also, have you seen those Skin Smart sprays, the hypochlorous acid?
Yes.
So hypochlorous acid is a natural ingredient that's found in our own bodies. It actually helps protect us against organisms and tumors and things like that. But it's a very gentle, very effective antibacterial spray that could potentially be used, on brushes and, like wipes and so forth.
I'm glad you brought that up because I watched this TikTok.
Uh-huh.
Imagine that. And it was an esthetician or somebody saying that you should incorporate it into your skincare routine and actually spray your face.
It can
How
be beneficial.
irritating.
It is very gentle, even around the eyes. It's not harmful to the eyes. We use it a lot in our office to prep the skin before we
Right.
do fillers and things. So it's a great antibacterial, antimicrobial. I don't know if you should use it every day, but it's great for like after the gym when you can't get home to wash your face, or, if you're traveling and you want to use it like on the go. It
Okay.
de it depends on what other products are in your routine, but just
Sure.
washing your face is antibacterial. I mean, if you use
Just
any
wash your
sort of
face, people.
cleansers are antibacterial, but they are trending. I do worry a little bit about people overusing them because
Yes, that
now,
was my thought.
the initial brand was Skin Smart. We actually also use it in people who have eczema,
Mhm.
because eczema patients, because their skin barrier is damaged, they tend to harbor a lot of bacteria on their skin. And so we use it as eczema therapy or wound care. So you just want to be careful not to overuse it.
Yeah.
Maybe a few times a week is acceptable.
Good, I like that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, like, washcloths? Because I feel like some people absolutely hate them and some people absolutely love them. But when it's time to wash your face, do you use like a special makeup removing cloth or do you use a good old washcloth?
So for my eye
For you,
makeup,
yeah.
I like to use those reusable cloth.
Uh-huh.
They're kind of
Like the
like these
round
round
circle.
circle
Mhm.
ones for my eye makeup, and I like to soak like my cellar water or put eye makeup remover on that. And what you want to do, guys, when you're removing your makeup, you don't want to be like, harshly like scrubbing your makeup off your eyes, because
Right.
again, that eyelid skin is very delicate. And if you're tugging and pulling on it, you can actually stretch the skin and damage it. And you don't want to do that because that just contributes to aging. And who wants that?
All the
Aging, such
wrinkles.
a drag. So you want to like let it soak on your eyes for maybe like 30 seconds and then gently sweep off. And if you don't get it all with that micellar water or that makeup remover, after applying your cleanser, and I, by the way, love to use Purify cleanser to dry skin.
Yes.
Purify has this silky, white, creamy texture that is almost like lotion-like,
Yeah, it
and
is.
so that helps bind to oils and makeup, sunscreen, and so I apply it to dry skin first, almost like a lotion. I like, kind of work it on the skin, and then I apply a little bit of water and then use a lather. Here I am, like, still cleansing, and then I finally rinse it off. But did you know that a lot of people don't cleanse their skin long enough for an effective cleanse? You have to really cleanse it
I
for
did not.
at least I would say 30 seconds to a minute for it to be a really good cleanse. A
So
lot of
like
people
hand
just,
washing.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What do
You
they say?
should
Sing
sing the
that happy
song.
birthday
Yeah.
song.
Okay, Kentucky.
Yeah. So what were we talking about?
Washcloths.
Washcloths. Okay. So they can be a little bit harsh on the skin. I say just use your fingers. It's just like you got to then wash the washcloth and the washcloth gets wet and then you got to dry it.
Sure, sure.
But it's a personal
Why
thing.
why
I don't
extra steps?
judge. I don't judge. If you love the washcloth, use it. Just don't like be super aggressive. That was the
Okay.
whole point of
That was
my
yeah.
discussion
Well,
that I just went through for the
okay.
past.
Well, now let's dive
Anyways.
into Ask Dr. Ozzy.
Oh my God, we're still going on this episode?
So, this segment is where we answer all of your questions. Well, try to answer all of them. So, if you have a dying question you've been wanting to ask Dr. Ozzy or myself, please email us at more than a pretty face podcast at gmail.com or shoot us a DM on Instagram at more than a pretty face podcast.
Yes, we love to hear from you.
Yes, our first question. Hi, Dr. Ozzy and Nurse Lacey. Thank you both for your wonderful podcast. I am a skincare girly, so I truly appreciate your insights and advice. I was wondering what y'all thought about lash extensions. I've been trying to do my research about pros and cons, long term effects on the areas around my eyes, etc. I'm not a big fan of makeup, but I do see how effortlessly glamorous people look when they have extensions. Would you recommend it? Are there things to consider? Thanks.
I hear you. The pros are they certainly make you look
Yes.
great all the
Yeah.
time. You can wake up looking beautiful
Yeah.
with them. And as we get older, our eyes actually get smaller. So by having lashes, it actually makes you look more youthful because it makes your eyes look bigger. And so, no question, there's a lot of pros. The cons are once you commit to them, they it's almost like once you fly like first class, you can't like fly coach, or
Yeah.
once there's all these phrases, but once you get used to that level of glamour and ease,
It's
then it's
hard to go
really
back.
hard
Yeah.
to go back.
Yeah.
And they're time consuming. You got to go in. I mean, these women are going in every 3 weeks. A lot of my patients have them. And after a while, they will take a toll on your own lashes. No question that adhesive, the tug, the pull. So if you ever want to part with them, you're gonna be in for a shock because not only is it gonna be drastically different than your baseline, but also
You'll
it
have
is
bald
gonna yeah,
areas.
you're gonna have maybe patches of lash loss, or areas where the lashes haven't grown as well as if you weren't getting them. Now, one
Mhm.
one way to support your lash growth while you support your very glamorous habit is to use a product like Latisse or some of these lash serums to maintain your lashes. But the other caveat to these lash extensions is the irritation and the sensitization that results in reactions to the lash glue, particularly the
Mhm.
adhesive, because they do have a lot of acrylics in them to allow the bonding of the fake lash to your real lashes. And so that's another point to consider is, if you do decide to go down that route, these are the cons. And you just have to be prepared to, deal with the consequences, unfortunately. But if you do get a reaction, then I would suggest, obviously stop them because you're going to have red, swollen eyelids.
Yes,
And we do see
itchy.
people for this, they get reactions. You can use a medicated cream like Soothe HC. You can use it, up to three times a day for several days. The reaction will go away. If it doesn't go away, then you need to see a dermatologist. But then, you may have developed sensitization. And unfortunately, any type of adhesive, even the glue for just regular strip lashes could
Mhm.
potentially cause, irritation. But sometimes they apply the glue not on your skin, but actually to the hair. So that's probably better in terms of skin reactions, but nevertheless, there are downsides to your own natural lashes.
Yeah, I'll never forget when I went and had my lashes done. And for those of you that know that I have a huge eye phobia, it was very traumatic for me to sit there while they're, like, putting the lashes and watching it, but I did it. I loved it until it was time to fill them,
Mhm.
and you have, like, these spotty lashes, or when I decided to take them off, such a drastic difference. You really do feel like you have no lashes when you take them off.
Yeah. I mean, you probably if you did them periodically, I guess it wouldn't be so hard on your lashes, but over time, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, our next question is from Josie, and she said, "Hello, I love the podcast, Dr. Shrazi. I wanted to know what type of ingredients should I look for to avoid in my makeup products when I'm going through an eczema flare-up?"
Well, we touched on a lot of these, right? So
Mhm.
alcohol, fragrances,
Mhm.
ingredients like bismuth oxychloride, those tend to be, the most reactive. And then certainly dyes like D and C, red dyes in particular, are really irritating and can cause a lot of reactions.
Well, wouldn't makeup in general be irritating if you have a flare-up?
Yes, that is true. So try to go with more nude colors. They tend to have less pigment or less dyes in them. And try to just skip it if you
Yeah, I
can.
would totally skip it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all for today, you guys. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. Please keep them coming at More Than a Pretty Face podcast. Either DM us or email us.
Yes, thank you guys for joining in. I love this episode. I feel like it was so informative and I
Yes.
love talking about everything beauty and skin and obviously dermatology. And guys, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Your listenership and subscriptionship is really what keeps the podcast going.
Yes.
And if you found this helpful, don't forget to share this with a friend. Until next time, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.